I'm a little annoyed right now because this is my second time doing this. Apparently, my MacBook decides when the video ends, whether I have said it's over or not. However, I'm going to try one more time, and if this doesn't work, then that's it. So the first video um, that I'm just going to merge them together, I spoke about the fact that I'm today I was really reminded that life is a beautiful struggle. I'm usually a very happy, peppy, chirpy person, and a lot of people that mean a lot to me have noticed today that something was up, something was amiss, and it wasn't that all of a sudden I had all these new problems that I never had before. It was the same problems, just that today they really got to me, and I had to take time to step outside of that box where you get caught up in this notion where you wallow in your self-pity and your problems. I had to step out of that box and remind myself that everyone has problems. Everyone has obstacles. Life is a beautiful struggle. That's what it's about. Um, so I'm going to read this poem. If you don't like poetry, then this section may not be for you. Hopefully it doesn't cut it off again, because if it does, this video probably won't make the cut, and then I won't be able to share this beautiful poem with you all. So this is Yet Do I Marvel by County Cullen, and I am going to be reading it because it's not memorized. I doubt not God is good, well-meaning, kind. And did he stoop to quibble could tell why the little buried mole continues blind, why flesh that mirrors him must someday die. Make plain the reason tortured Tantalus is baited by the fickle fruit. Declare it barely brute caprice dooms Sisyphus to struggle up a never-ending stair. Inscrutable his ways are, and immune to catches them by a mind too strewn with petty cares to slightly understand what awful brain compels his awful hand. Yet do I marvel at this curious thing, to make a poet black and bid him sing. So, that is a beautiful poem. It is by County Cullen, so look it up. I'm going to end this and start a new one before it cuts me off. So this is part 3 of what I actually plan on merging, because this seems to be the only way. Anyways, skip the pleasantries. The poem that I just read, it has a lot of grandeur language and a lot of very formal words. So at first you may not get the point of it. He alludes to Sisyphus. And for those of you who don't know who Sisyphus is, it's a Greek mythology of a man who his punishment was to push a boulder up a mountain. And of course he would get further and further, but every time he got towards the top, the boulder would roll back down on him and he'd have to go back down to the bottom and start all over again. It also alludes to the myth of Tantalus. And those of you who don't know Tantalus, was at a feast, and his punishment was basically that he could not eat. He was at this huge feast and he couldn't partake in any of the food. So County Cullen, who wrote this poem during the Harlem Renaissance, I believe, I could be wrong, but I believe this is during the Harlem Renaissance. His entire notion here was just to, and of course this is open to interpretation, my interpretation, disclaimer. His entire purpose was to notify the beauty of the black struggle. This entire theme that life is a beautiful struggle isn't new. Talib Kweli wasn't the first person to say it. He was just the first person to put it in a rap song. But this entire notion, this entire way of living isn't new. County Cullen meant to highlight the black struggle by, basically just speaking through these myths as to how, black people in this country are, in the midst of this struggle, this never-ending struggle. But by that last line, to make a poet black and bid him sing, what I see in that last statement is just him saying that, yes, God may have made us black. And there may be some of you out there who feel like that's a struggle or that's not a blessing. However, he has given us hands and he has given us a mind that can do so many great things. And that's the point of life. We may be faced with this struggle, but our lives are beautiful and full regardless. And if you learn the beauty in that, You know, the beauty in the fact that you may face adversity, but you still can make it through it. If you learn to master that idea, then you really, really become someone who's appreciative of the life that God has given you, you know, of the life that you're living. Because I don't think you can truly appreciate life for what it is if you're striving for um, this notion of perfection. You know, part of the appreciation is the fact that life is imperfect and life has obstacles. So it's one of my favorite poems. I would read it again. I would read it all day, but I highly doubt you'd want to listen to me reading it again. So again, the poem was "Yet Do I Marvel" by Countee Cullen, and I just really felt compelled to say that. I know that it's been said over and over again, but I really felt compelled to say it myself. Life is a beautiful struggle. That was my lesson of the day. That was what I was reminded of today.